Hey everyone, we are going to do this live. I'm going to go through a demo of creating a send status button in Trello with PixieBrix. So this is not rehearsed. We're going to do it totally from scratch. I'm going to show you right now how I'm going to build it. So we're going to start with Trello, obviously. Then we're going to right click and open Inspect to open up our PixieBrix builder called Page Editor. All right, so let's all right, so let's get started. So first of all, basically what I'm going to be building is it's a button that when you click it, you'll be able to select the status of, is this a am I working on this? Am I looking at this? Like, you can select from a few different options of what you're trying to do with it. And then once you hit submit, it will automatically send a notification to Slack saying, hey, Brittany Joyner is working on this. So it's kind of similar to if you saw some of my other videos, I made, I think this is the one. I made a, nope, not this one. Show tune available. Yeah, I made a button inside of GitHub where it does the same sort of thing. Basically goes, looks when you're on an issue, creates a button, you can click it, and then it will send a notification to Slack saying, hey, here's what Brittany's working on. So here I sort of have it written out, but we're gonna build it live, just for funsies here. So all right, so what we're gonna do first is we're going to we're gonna add a button. We're gonna create a new one here. We're gonna start with a button. Wait, hang on a second. What am I even on? No, I'm on. Let me go back. Start over. Need to just create new brick. Inspect. PixieBrix. All right. So add button. So now we're going to select where we want to show the button, or an element that we want it to look like. For me, I want it to look kind of like this edit button. So I'm going to click that, and you can see now it places a new button right next to it called action. So I actually want to call this send status. You can see it's already, got that selected and everything. All I literally had to do was click add button and then click on an element I wanted it to look like. And now I'm just changing the text. It's going to do this on Trello.com. Don't have anything I really need to, change about that. So, cool. We're going to call this status Trello button just so we can keep this straight. And, call it V1 here. Sure. Okay. So I'm just setting that because I think that's for when it's public. I'll be able to define if this was a different version of a similar one, but I'm making this a whole different one. So just off the bat, you can see what we're able to grab with that button. We can grab the title and the URL. Those are things that will be useful later. We will come back to that. But so great. Okay. So we've got a button. Now we got to make the button do stuff. And first of all, I want to show a modal or form. And I want to use that to say, select the status. So I am, basically, what am I doing with it? I'm going to call the field name status, leave that blank. I'm going to make it a drop down, and I'm going to make the default value working on. I like emojis because they're fun. So I'm going to add one. And let's see, add options. Okay, so that's my default option, but I want multiple options, right? I want to be able to say, I'm working on this, I'm just looking at it, I need help on it, or I need review on it. So feel free to, paste in whatever options you want here. This is totally customizable. Just gonna add looking at, add another one for working on. I'm gonna have like we'll add need help on. And then we'll just leave it at that for now. But obviously you can see you can add as many more as you'd like here, do whatever you want with them. You could even add here another field if you wanted that was like a message. So if you wanted to go down here maybe and say, maybe you wanted to be able to add something different like any custom notes on it. I don't personally want that for this one. I want to keep it simple, but you could do that. I'm going to change the submit button text to send to Slack just because that seems cleaner and easier. You can change it to be on the sidebar. I want it to be a modal. That's a good idea. So, okay, cool. So now we've basically got a way. We've got a button. When you click it, it's going to ask you the status. So we've now gathered the status. Now we need to go gather the username, and then we will compose the message in Slack. So gathering the username is a bit tricky. It gets a little hairy here, so hold on with me. Basically, what we need to do, and I'm just going to back out of this real quick to show you. The username is over here under your profile. So to get there, we have to close out of the issue, and then we have to click up here and then go look up, wait for this element to load right here, my name. Then we need to click that and select that. And so I'll show you how we're going to do that. Basically, we just need to tell PixieBrix exactly what I told you. So first is we're going to simulate a DOM event. And this is, I'm going to call this closing the card. So all you do is click this little arrow and what you want it to do. I want to click that. So simulate event, we want it to click. So now what it's going to do is it's going to close that. So now we need to simulate another DOM event, which is clicking that profile button. So I'm going to close that out of there. And then click that again. Come back over here. Click that profile button right there. That should be set right there. And again, we're going to have click. And just bring it up over here. We're going to have wait for DOM event because we want to wait, or wait for DOM element. We want it to wait and go look for that name once it loads. So we're going to use the selector again. We're going to highlight this right there, that div with my name in it, right there. And you go back here and you see it's got it selected. We don't need to set anything for max wait or anything like that. Just leave that as is. And then we're going to use the jQuery selector to actually go grab the value there. So when that has loaded, you can just copy and paste this, or you can use that selector mouse again if you need to. We're going to add a property. I'm just going to paste that there. And we're going to call this user. I'm going to change this output to Trello, just so later when I want to reference this variable, I can call it Trello.user, and I'll show you how we do that in a second. So just to keep track of where we're at, we've got a button. When you click it, it's going to show you a modal to let you select the status. We're going to close the card, simulate the DOM event of, let me rename that so it's easier, open profile, and then wait for name, and then we'll call this grab the username. And we've renamed the output to Trello, so later when we want to reference it, that we're going to do Trello.user, all right? So next thing we want to do is we've got all of our pieces here now, so we want to send to Slack. So just add that send to Slack brick, and this is where we will, I'm going to grab, because I've already built it before, the incoming webhooks URL. So I'm just going to plug that in here. If you need to find that, just go to the incoming webhooks URL Slack app. You should be able to click on that and it'll bring up, or actually it might be this one. I think it's this one. It's this article right here. Or this Slapback directory. Once you see this, you'll be able to add it. I've already got it in various workspaces, but you can just click add to Slack and run through the steps there. It's fairly intuitive. You don't need to be like super hacky or codey or anything. You just kind of will like select a channel that you want as default or different sort of things like that. It's pretty clicky. And then like, as in you just kind of click through things and get to where you need to go with it. And then, let's go back to PixieBrix. Yeah, it'll spit out a URL. It looks kind of like this. So now we'll do that. You can change the bot name, call it whatever you want. You can add an emoji if you want. This is where you select the channel. You can actually change it here if you want it to be, despite what you put in before with the default, you can actually change it here. But I just want it to go to the status channel. If you want to get fancy, you could add up in this modal up here something asking like, which channel do you want to go to? And then you grab the value from that and spit it out down here. But I kind of wanted to keep it all in one channel, so that made the most sense to me. And then this is where we get a little bit fancy and we just grab the text that we want to be able to grab those variables and spit them out in text. And so I'm going to cheat a little bit and grab what I did in GitHub and then change the pieces just a wee bit here. So, okay. So basically, this is how you build links in, or no, that's actually not even the right one, is that? Nope, that is not. Let me see if I have the other one here that has the syntax saved. Yeah, we're just going to grab this here. That way you don't have to watch me type it all, but I'll walk you through what it all is. So, okay, so this is saying go get the variable of that user. So again, it goes to this Trello.user and it grabs that. So it's going to grab that Brittany Joyner is, and then it goes to form.status, and that's where it's basically grabbing what the output is on here, dot whatever the name of that field is. So whatever you select there, that's what it's putting there. And then this is how you format a link for Slack. So it's basically those opening carets, and then make sure, this is really important, to use 3 of the curly braces and say add input URL, which again, you can get right from up here. If you literally just click that, it copies that path and you can see it's right there. So again, you'll need to wrap 3 curly brackets around it because otherwise it'll mess up the URL, the characters, and it won't actually be the link. But if you have 3, you should be good. And then add the pipe in between it, and then add the title. So this is like, when you're building URL, this is the link, and then this is the hyperlinked text. So once again, I put 3 things near it. I realized I may actually not need it for that, but it doesn't hurt anything here. So I'm just going to leave that as is. And yeah, you can see Trello user is whatever the status is, and then it links right to that card. So let's go ahead and save it. And this is the fun part. This is live. So let's debug and see if it's going to work for us here. So bring that up here. Got send status, pops up the modal, says I am looking at. Send to Slack, and go over here. Let me make Slack smaller so you can see that it's shared. Brittany Joyner is looking at blah, 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 blah. Yay! I realized I actually left off a step on here that I wanted to do, because one annoying thing about it is when we close the menu, it's now like out of the card. Like you notice I had that card up and now I don't have that card up. But this is like super easy to fix. All I need to do is actually add another brick on here that redirect, I think it's page, yeah, current URL. So it'll take that current URL and you can just navigate back to that input URL, like where you started, what the actual card is there. So input URL. Go back. I'm just gonna say reload card. Okay, hit save. Let's see. Might need to debug this a bit, but I think that should work. Let's try this again. Send status. I'm working on send to Slack. See it close. Open. Grab that. Reloads the page. We're reloading, so it should be bringing up that issue. We'll just check real quick here. Whoop. Meant to check in Slack. Where's my Slack at? Slack, where you at? Okay, here's Slack. Brittany Joyner is working on. So you see it posted the message, and we're back here, reloaded it. It's got exactly what we want it to be right there. So, yeah, so feel free, comment on here. Let me know if you have any questions, if that doesn't make sense. If you have any ideas for how you'd want to customize it. I'm working on setting this up as a blueprint where you can pretty much just go in, and rather than having to do all those steps, you can basically go in and plug in your Trello configuration, like just connect to your account and also your webhook URL, and it'll have all of this like off the bat, so you don't actually have to go through all those steps. But if you did want to customize anything, this is exactly how you would do it. So yeah, hope this is helpful. And also check PixieBrix shirt. Yeah, got some cool swag going here. So yeah, let me know if y'all have any questions.